Hello, my name is Weir. I'm a storyteller, and I'm delighted to have recorded some spooky tales for the little ones this Halloween for the Island Arts Centre. I hope they'll sit down, listen and enjoy. Happy Halloween! There was once a boy called Sam who loved scary stories. He used to go to the library and read funny bones and spooky tales. And one day he said to his mum, "Can I go off and see my friend Michael?" His dad said, "You remember, it gets dark early these days. You have to come home through the forest. Make sure you come home before dark." "Right, Dad. Bye, Mum." And off he went. When he got to Michael's house, Michael had been to the library and got lots more scary Halloween books. They read one, and then another, and then another. And then Sam said, "Oh no, it's nearly dark and I have to walk home through the forest." So he started to walk home, pitter, patter, pitter, patter. But all of a sudden he heard a noise behind him. Boom, 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 boom. He ran faster. Boom, boom, boom. He heard a voice. He said, "Who's there?" And the voice said, "Guess what I can do with my long bony finger and my ruby red lips." Sam started running and boom, 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 boom. He could hear the footsteps coming behind him. He said, "Who's there?" And the voice said, "Guess what I can do with my long bony finger and my ruby red lips." He ran home and he got to his own house and the door was locked, and behind him he could hear boom, 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 boom. He said, "I can't run any further. Who's there?" And the voice said, "Guess what I can do with my long bony finger and my ruby red lips." He said, "Who are you? What can you do with your long bony finger and your ruby red lips?" And the big creature went, and just then a light came on. And when he looked, it was his daddy. And his dad said, "Didn't I tell you to come home before dark?" He said, "You did, Dad." He said, "I thought I'd give you a surprise." He said, "You certainly did. So if you want to scare somebody, you sneak up behind them and you say, 'Guess what I can do with my long bony finger and my ruby red lips.' What can you do?" Once there were 3 children. John was about 10, his sister Mary was 8, and had a wee baby sister called Amy. She wasn't even at big school yet. She used to go to Mrs. Happy's nursery, and she was so wee she was still in nappies. John and Mary took wee Amy out for a walk. They'd swing her along, and they came past a very old spooky looking house. It was called Spooky Gables. People said there was a ghost in there, and they said if you were brave enough to go in there, you could get gold. John said, "You girls stay here. I'm going up." And he walked up to the door. He opened the creaky door. Down a creepy corridor. Spider! Started running. Opened another creaky door. And there was a whole pile of gold. And John reached out his hand, but as he did so, a voice said, "I am the ghost of Spooky Gables. I say the gold stays on the table." John ran out and Mary said, "What's wrong with you?" He said, "It's horrible, horrible, don't go in there." And she said, "Boys." So Mary walked up to the house, opened the creaky door, down the creepy corridor. Spider! She ran, another creaky door. There was the gold, and she reached out her hand, and the voice said, "I am the ghost of Spooky Gables. I say the gold stays on the table." Me baby Amy said, "What's wrong? It's horrible. Me go in." "You're not going in." "Me go in." Have you ever tried to argue with a toddler? Up she went. Waddle, 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 waddle. Boom, the door was opened. Waddle, waddle. Spider scram. The spider said, "Oh, toddler." Waddle, waddle, waddle. Creaky door. Wee Amy had to climb up in a chair, put out her little pudgy hand for the gold, and the voice said, "I am the ghost of Spooky Gables. I say the gold stays on the table." Amy said, "I am the toddler from Mrs. Happy's. I say the gold's going in my nappy." And she stuffed the gold all down into her nappy, and out she went, waddle, waddle. "Come on, John. Come on, Mary. Let's go for sweets." And the ghost was never seen again. There was once a baby who loved apple juice. He would sit up in his high chair and say, "I want my apple juice." And his mummy would say, "All right, pet, I'll go and get it for you. It's down the cellar." So she walked down the steps to the cellar. She opened the creaky door. There was all the apple juice. But as she reached out her hand, a voice said, "I am the ghost with one black eye." Poor mummy ran up the stairs. Her husband said, "What's wrong with you?" She said, "Oh, it's terrible." "Your mummy's a big coward." Baby said, "I want my apple juice." "Dad'll go and get it." So Dad started walking down the stairs. It was dark. Then it got darker. Then it got very dark. And he opened the creaky door. When he went inside to see the apple juice, the voice again said, I am the ghost with one black eye. Ah! And the dad ran up the stairs. His wife said, what's wrong with you? The light didn't work. Baby said, I want my apple juice. The baby had a big teenage brother. You know, one of those boys with the baseball cap round the wrong way and the baggy pants? He said, yo, babe, I'll get your apple juice. He started going down the stairs. By this stage, it got even darker and darker and darker when he opened the creaky door and went inside. Saw all the apple juice. The voice said, I am the ghost with one black eye. Mommy, mommy, mommy. That big teenage boy was so scared. Baby said, I want my apple juice. I get my apple juice my own self. Out he climbed out of his high chair. Waddle, 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 waddle. It was dark. Darker, very dark, didn't bother our baby. He opened the creaky door and the voice said, I am the ghost with one black eye. And the baby said, there's two black eyes. I'm taking my apple juice. And the ghost never bothered them again. There was once an old woman who got off a bus and was walking up a very long lane to her house. It was around the 1st of November. The rain came on, it started pouring down. She said, oh no, I'm going to get soaked. I've no coat with me. And what did she spot sitting against the hedge but an old black umbrella? She said, just what I need. And she put it up and it kept her dry all the way home. Now that old woman didn't know that umbrella belonged to a witch. It had fallen off her broomstick on her way home after Halloween. And this was a magic umbrella. If you held it up and counted 1, 2, 3, you could go whee straight back home, no matter where you started. If you held it up and counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you'd go whee anywhere in the world you want to go. But if you held it up and counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you'd go whee round and round the nearest tall building. Well, the next day, the old woman went to the market. She was selling eggs. It was a wet day. She had the umbrella up. A boy came and said, could I have 3 eggs, please? She said, of course. She started to count. 1, 2, 3. Whee! She flew home. Her husband said, how did you get home? She said, I have no idea. One minute I was at the market. The next minute I'm at home. I don't even remember getting home. So she had a rest. The next day was a lovely day. In fact, unseasonably warm. The sun came out. It was quite warm, and you know yourself, you must be very careful if the sun gets hot. You have to wear sun cream or a sun hat. She just took the umbrella to keep the sun off her, and she watched the cars going up and down the road. She said, beautiful day. How I wish I could go to the beach. And she started to count cars just for fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whee! She landed in the front seat of a big red car on a lady's lap. The driver stopped and she said, what are you doing sitting on my mother? She said, I don't know, I just said I want to go to the beach. We're going to the beach. You're not. Out. And they pushed her out. Well, her daughter came up the road and said, what are you doing getting into people's cars? She said, I'm not well. Send for the doctor. The doctor came, he took her temperature, he took her pulse. He told her she had a thing called thingamybobitis. Very rare. He told her she needed pink tablets 3 times a day, blue tablets 5 times a day, green tablets 7 times a day. She was fine with the pink ones. She wasn't too bad with the blue ones. The green ones, she said, how many times have I taken those? She was walking along with her umbrella up. She started to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Way up she went in the air, flying around like Mary Poppins. People were saying, what is it? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it Superman? No, it's my mother. So they phoned 999 Nina. The fire brigade came and the firefighters put their ladders up, and one climbed up and she was going round and round, a bit like a moth round a light, and the firefighter caught hold of the old lady's skirt and pulled her in, but the umbrella went into space. She was fine after about a week, but boys and girls, if you're out over Halloween and you find an old umbrella, be very careful what you're doing with it, because you could end up going round and round the nearest tall building.